Every day is Friday. What do I mean by that? Hi, I'm Greg with the Job Tips Straight Talk channel. Thank you for checking this out. Well, what do I mean by saying every day is Friday? Well, every day can be Friday if you set your mind straight, set your mind to having an outlook to where you look forward to the next day as if it were Friday, looking forward, yay, to the weekend, even if it's Monday and the next day is just Tuesday. And the next day is just hump day, Wednesday. And the next day is just Thursday and then Friday and then the weekend. Well, what if you came to work every day with such a positive mindset that said, hey, it's Friday, meaning you're excited perhaps. Let's assume that's your mindset on Fridays, that tomorrow's going to be an exceptional day. Because on Friday, tomorrow is the weekend, unless you work weekends. Let's put that out there. That little caveat there. This assumes you work Monday through Friday, and for the most part are off on the weekends. Okay, you can have that mindset, because whether you have a great day or a really bad day, even if things happen outside of your control, you can have such a mindset that it kind of rolls off. Things might bother you a little bit at the job that you wish were different, but to the extent that you can't control it, whatever it is, and it's that thing that you just don't like, just move on. Work through it, accept it, rock and roll, and have a great life. And do the very best you can do, and know that this too shall pass, whatever this is, as far as a bad situation. Now, if you have a tyrant for a boss and it's a regular event, I get that. You might look at a way of getting out of there and doing something different. But just the same, you can even make that tyrant maybe a project of yours. To say, I may have a tyrant for a boss, but how can I positively influence that tyrant? How can I get in his or her head, his or her heart, and make that person change? It may never happen, but it could. And I'll give you a perfect example. I knew a gentleman whose name is Nate Washington. This is a case where I will give his full name, first and last name. He and I worked for the same large company many years ago. And he had a boss that he felt was an absolute tyrant. And the guy kind of was. I'm not going to give his name. He may be watching this. Who knows? But just the same, Nate decided I'm going to make that man, whose name I will call Bob, that's not his real name, I'm going to make Bob my project. Because every day, Nate would come in with knots in his stomach because Bob was a just pounder. Never was anything good enough. And Nate thought, I'm going to change this dude. And so he made that his mission. He went to work every day. He did the same great job. Nate was fantastic at what he did, among the best in the industry. I know the man very, very well. And he said, you know what? I love my job. I can't stand the way this guy's a tyrant. So I'm going to see if I can make the tyrant change a little bit. If I can't change the place I work, which he loved, can't change the job description I do, which he loved. That wasn't the issue. And if this Bob is not going to go anywhere anytime soon, and nor am I have to make this work. And so he wanted, frankly, every day to have a Friday positive attitude. And so he took that which was least favorable in his world, which was Bob, and set out to change Bob. There were a lot of things that went into this, and it took about 2 years for this to happen. But Bob slowly got better and better and better and better. And Nate actually there was a wager. I forgot who it was that placed the bet. Oh, in fact, it was Nate and Bob, because I think Bob, if I recall how Nate described this, Bob noticed something was going on here in terms of Nate's interacting with me a bit differently. Nate was kind of coming around to sort of being in the right place, right time mentor from time to time in situations that maybe Bob was having some challenges with. And so Nate stepped up and said, let's talk about it. It became sort of an inverse situation, not the employee necessarily, employee-esque, but also there are aspects of life where even as an employee, you can mentor your boss. You can be that person that gives that boss a shoulder to cry on, if you will, metaphorically speaking. And that is what Nate became. Well, there was a bet for $100. I think that was the amount. That if I changed the way, once Bob realized what was going on, by a certain amount of time has passed, I'll give you $100 if you're that, because Bob knew that he was a tyrant and just his personal style. It was just him, way out there. Sure enough, a year or two later, I walked into Nate's office, or I think it was Nate's office, and I saw this $100 bill in a frame on the wall. And Bob and I knew Bob, talked about that after Nate had left the company. Bob was still in the company, I was with the company, and we had the conversation. And he said, sure enough. Here's my point. You may have a situation at work that you may not look forward to going to work every single day, but you can identify things within your job, or you should be able to identify things within your job that maybe you'll have a positive influence on if you actively make that a goal of yours, make that sort of a mission of yours. And that way you can look forward to going to work every day. You may have the job you do and the people you deal with, but then that other goal there that you're working on is something that you look forward to working on. And so every day can be a Friday looking forward to the next day. Because the next day, guess what I get to do? I get to work on Bob. Whatever that means to you and whatever that situation is in your life, in your work. So make every day a Friday, and you'll have I think, a pretty satisfactory existence at work. And there are lots of other things we can talk about, but that little piece of it might help you just a little bit. If you have that type of job that you just, you don't look forward to going in, you can turn that around. You have the power to do that. And it's more than just a positive mental attitude, the PMA thing you read a lot about and hear a lot about. There's some concrete things. You have to identify those, but that you can work on that become a subset project, if you will, that you take on yourself during the workday, sort of intertwined with your work responsibilities, and makes it much more fulfilling and much more satisfactory. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share, all those wonderful things. And I hope you have the dynamic career, life, and everything that you want to have. Catch you in the next video.